Love butternut squash but tired of making the same old soup? Well, I've got a new recipe for you that is sure to knock your squash loving socks off. Hey there, I'm Len Brazil and you're watching Evolving Table, where we make good food that's also good for you. And today that's in the form of this stuffed butternut squash. It's roasted in the oven until perfectly caramelized and then loaded with the ground sausage, apple, pecan, kale, and sage filling. It's quickly stolen our hearts here in the Brazil household and I cannot wait to hear what you think. So let's jump straight in and get to cooking. You'll first want to start by preparing a 3 to 4 pound butternut squash. This guy will take about 40 minutes to roast in the oven, which is just the amount of time you need to prep and cook the filling. To start, you'll want to slice the squash in half lengthwise. If you're having a hard time cutting through the tough skin, you can grab a large fork and poke a few holes in it. And then microwave it for a minute or two. Doing this will help soften the skin, so it's easier to cut all of the way through. Using a spoon with a relatively sharp edge, remove all of the seeds. Scrape along the sides of the flesh if you're having a difficult time removing the strings. Drizzle each half with 1 tablespoon of oil and rub it in to cover the entire surface. Then sprinkle each half with half of a teaspoon of salt. Place the squash halves flat side down onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet and then bake in a preheated 425-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. You'll know the squash is done cooking when it pierces easily with a fork and the edges are caramelized. While the squash is baking, we'll get started on that filling. I'll be using a ground sausage today because, come on, it's got so much flavor. But if you'd rather, you can use a healthier option such as lean ground beef, ground turkey, or even chicken. In a large skillet over medium heat, add 2 tablespoons of a mildly flavored oil such as olive or avocado oil, along with half of a finely chopped sweet onion. Saute for 3 to 4 minutes, and then add 4 cloves of finely minced garlic. Continue sauteing for another minute or until the garlic becomes fragrant. Push the onion to the side and add in the pound of ground sausage. Cook for 7 to 8 minutes or until the sausage is cooked through. A little trick I like to do is to use a potato masher to break up the sausage into fine crumbles. This helps to tenderize the meat and ensures there are no large clumps of meat in the dish. Next, stir in 1 apple that has been finely diced. I like to leave the skin on mine for a pop of color and added fiber, but you can always peel it if you'd prefer. Continue cooking for 3 to 4 minutes or until the apples are slightly tender. Then, mix in 2 cups of roughly chopped kale, half a cup of coarsely chopped and previously toasted pecans. About 325 for 6 to 7 minutes will do. 1/4 cup of roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. 1 tablespoon of finely chopped fresh sage. Ground sage can also be used, but you'll only need about 1 teaspoon of it. Half a teaspoon of salt to taste. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And a pinch of ground nutmeg. Cook for 1 to 2 minutes to heat everything up. Once warm, turn off the heat and stir in 1 teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Fluff up the squash just before serving using a fork. And stuff each half with a sausage filling. Gotta check for kale. Okay, we good? We good? Okay, yeah. The kale is clear. This, guys, is so good. It is bursting with the most complex flavor. I would even say it rivals my favorite butternut squash soup. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Also, if you want a few more cooler weather dishes, make sure you check out these healthy fall and winter recipes. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one.